Hello, 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 and welcome. This is alertwolf here. Going to bring you another review. This is of Tron, Uprising, episode 12. And this one, because I'm going to cheat and look at my phone, uh, we both know how it ends. Now, you know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I like to cheat and use my phone all the time as a reference. But this particular phone is my old phone. Uh, and what I'm shooting on, which is the Nokia Lumia 920, um, is actually any 1080 video, 80p video you see that looks this nice, or unfortunately this bad because you got to see all this. But I've been using my 920 to shoot on, so that's why you don't see it in the video, because I use my old phone, which is still good for internet purposes, uh, just to have it as a reference guide. So that being said, let's get right into it. So the episode starts off. Beck, as the renegade, breaks in to where the tanks are located for Tesla's army, and using his tool, he injects like a computer virus into them, causing them to malfunction and be unusable. Now, Abel is preparing to go on a trip because he has some sort of thing, some sort of energy in a blue cylinder that he has to deliver to someone. Now, we don't know who it is, but we know he has to go. And Mira gets put in charge of the garage while he's gone, because the other two guys the other two main guys weren't there. So couldn't have been Zed or Beck because they weren't around. And this episode, I will say this about this episode: we get character development out of these two characters. And so the A and B story is basically about them, you know, and very interesting to see some character development from some of the good guys' supporting role characters. You know what I mean? The good supporting roles. So it's great to see some stuff out of Abel, and it's great to see some stuff out of Mira. So their story goes in different directions. We'll start off with the Mira story. Basically, she gets put in charge of the garage. When Zed and Beck finally get there, Zed's telling Beck a bad joke that Beck doesn't get. And she asks them for her help, or for their help, because she's been put in charge, and they agree to help her. The first thing that she wanted them to do was to fix the lifter, which was broken. And was broken by Zed. He mentions that to Beck afterwards. So, and that goes on there, and then you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just break into the B story, which would be the Abel story, and I'm gonna just tell it from start to finish, and then I'll get back and tell this part of the episode. So it's the Abel story goes like this. He's traveling in snowy mountain range, which is funny because it's the grid and whatnot, and he gets bit by this little grid bug, which is a minor annoyance, and it causes him to swerve almost off the road. He almost falls off the cliff. He tries to get the truck that he's driving back onto the road. The road cracks, so he jumps out with the pad and the cylinder, and proceeds to walk the rest of the way. He walks to the spot in the middle of nowhere. It's like a blizzard. He creates this bubble type of tent. And there he waits for somebody. The next thing you see is that he was in the tent, And inside the tent, the big reveal is who he's waiting for, and it turns out to be Tron. Um, so apparently, Abel and Tron are old friends. So Abel gives him the fluid that's in that cylinder. It's the power source keeping Tron alive. So that's interesting to note. Um, and basically, Tron and Abel get into an argument. Um, and it's all about the use of Beck. Now you have to understand the point of view of either individual. Tron's like Batman and views Beck as his protege, right? And he's training him to replace him to carry the mantle, despite the dangers. It's for the greater good. Abel views Beck as a son and treats him as any father would, treating a kid who's about to get in to go to war or something like that. So it's almost like your dad. It's like the dad and the coach arguing over how to use this player, basically, or a father and a sense, the dad and a sensei arguing about the training, because it, it's Beck's word. I mean, Abel's worried that Beck's gonna get hurt and killed actually in this battle, and he calls Beck. He doesn't want Beck to be another one of Tron's mistakes. Meaning what though? Which specific mistake? I wonder if that's referring to a specific person, maybe somebody else we tried to do this with before, or just the fact that it was under Tron's watch that the grid fell under Clue's control. So I don't I don't know, and I'd love to find out more about that. All right, then in the middle of the argument, and this actually made me crack up. Abel takes out his disc, and right when things got heated, and Tron turns around, takes out his disc, and it looks like, oh, I guess we're gonna fight over this. And Abel's like, no, not me, you idiot. All the bugs that are getting in, because that one little bug had friends, and they're swarming the only source of light. And there's like thousands of them coming at them. And they go back to back and start fighting them off in a circle. And I thought this was cool. Pretty much the only action you're going to get in this episode, other than the opening. And I thought it made me crack up because Tron's face was like, oh, my bad, homie. I thought we were doing this. He's like, no, you idiot. I feel like the correct comment is, no, you idiot. We're friends. I'm not fighting you over this. We're about to be killed. All right. I thought we were, okay, I got you. So they blow up the tent, escape on the snowmobile speeder, and they don't really resolve their argument, but they're still friends. You know what I mean? They're still friends. At the end of the day, they're friends. So that was pretty good. And then he proceeds to leave to go back, and Tron's like, there's just one thing. Next time we meet, I'm picking the place. And there's the joke there. All right, so that is the full wrap up of the B story, or the Abel story. I don't know how you want to look at it. But now back to the Mira story, which is the A story. Okay, so Pavel comes in wanting those tanks that Beck or the Renegade completely made it unusable with like a mutating virus code fixed by the end of the day. If he doesn't fix it by the end of if they don't fix it by the end of the day, he's gonna send everybody to the games. That was his his timeline. And so they have one day to the end of her shift, is exactly his words. And he put a timer on the clock, so I thought that was cool, to fix it. Now she tries to say, everybody, let's work on this together as a team. If we all work on it together to try to figure out the problem, we can solve the problem in no time, and then we can just repair the tanks. one of the other characters, his name is not important, who works in the shop, says, "Nah, forget that. You know, every man for them, not every man for themselves. Take a tank to yourselves, and let's everybody work on the tanks. We're not going to listen to her, because we listen to her, we get derez." So everybody's scrambling and running around like a chicken with their head cut off, trying to fix the problem. And Link accidentally finds this data track inside there, like a cube or whatever it is, and hits it by accident, causing the tank to fire. And, you know, this tank starts firing randomly, and, you know, it hits, it blows up the one copter, and they're like, oh man, we got to shut it down before it's too late. And then at the same time, Zed's tank rolls into the bay. So things are looking really, really bad here. It looks like it's impossible for them to make it. They're gonna get derezed. They're gonna fight in the games. They're gonna get derezed. It's over. Then when she starts to talk to Link about what's going on, I believe that's the guy Link. He's been in a few episodes. He's kind of mousy. I believe, yeah, Link's his name. So, and she goes, show me exactly what you did. Because remember, these tanks can't fire because they've been virusized, and they don't know how to fix it. So he actually found, hidden in the thing, the original uncorrupted file that created the tank. By activating the file, it's like a system restore. Go back to it before the virus. That's the best way I could describe it. So she was able to fix the tanks. So then she figures out how to fix all the tanks, and so now this will work. And she goes, we need to get everybody together. Now, Beck disappears at this point because he's going to go full renegade mode. See, I didn't understand why Beck didn't do that at all in the beginning. What Beck should have done is gone renegade mode and attacked the garage, destroying more tanks with some bombs or something. Because if he had done that, then Pavel couldn't have blamed her for it. But so I think maybe he thought of doing something like that right then and there. But she catches up to him, and he acts like because he's gonna go reach for his disc, but then he actually reaches for a tool. He's like, "What? I'm figuring I'm gonna round up some mechanics from maybe a couple of the other shops and get going." And she lets him have it. Your disappearing act, blah blah blah. You need to work. Stop slacking off. And he's like, "Do you understand me?" He's like, "Yeah, I understand you, crazy lady." So he goes back, and she gives a big speech of how we need to work together, and she's sorry this is all her fault because she wasn't leading. She was trying to be everything to everybody, and that never works. So she shows them how to fix the tanks. They get on it. Pavel comes back, and he's like, all right, baby, we're going to get... Who's going for derezing or the games? I prefer derezing you right now. Let's derez. So he's looking forward to killing them all because he doesn't like them. And basically, he looks around, and she's like, oh, all the tanks are done. And he looks around, and they report back that all the tanks are done. But he goes, wait a minute. There are 11 tanks here. I had 12 tanks. All right. So like I said before, derezing or the game? Derezing? And then right then, Zed, in the nick of time, shows up with the last tank, which is fully operational. He's like, oh, it's just cleaning it for you. He's like, I fucking hate this place, man. And so he leaves. And Zed's like, yeah, you know that alleged lift I allegedly broke? Well, I may have allegedly fixed it and pulled the tank out of the bay, and fixed the tank, allegedly. So everything is fine. Abel gets back on the snowmobile speeder, gets off of it, hands the stick to Beck, and he goes, you give this back. He's like, to who? Oh, you know who it belongs to. And there you go. And now, if Beck didn't know, now he knows that Abel is friends with Tron, so I thought that was good. And then he talks to Mary. He's like, "How did things go?" She goes, "Everything was fine, not a problem." He goes, "Good. I knew I made the right decision with you." And she goes, "I was your only decision. You were." He goes, "Yeah, but you were my first and only decision," meaning she was top of the list regardless of who was there. And he's looking to her to take on more responsibilities, and that's pretty much how the episode ends. So you got to find out more about Abel. We got to find out more about his character, more about some of his history. He has history with Tron, and we're only getting to the surface of Abel, and we're finally breaking the surface. Is what I meant to say, of Abel, and I really like that. We got to see Mira be assertive, take charge, and really show that she could be a manager or a leader. And I like that. And she grew up a little. So again, this is an episode based on two of the supporting role characters, and they got some character development. So that was great. I'm gonna give this episode a three and a half out of five. I'll give it a 3.5, and I'm gonna give it the extra half only because I mean, it's not as action packed or drama, but it's not even that pertinent too much to the overall plot, with the exception of we find out that Abel is friends with Tron, and they have a disagreement over Beck. But I like to see characters being developed, you know, so they're they're not one-dimensional characters on a show. I like that a lot. So yeah. I believe the next episode. Let me find out. I'm gonna cheat again. All right. Hold on a second. Stupid thing. All right. So as this loads for me, I'll let you know the name of the episode 13. Now that one's called The Stranger. And yes, and it's something to do with the secret of Tron's mantle. It's some crazy thing. So maybe I was right. Maybe other people have tried, and it hasn't worked. So there's so we have a few more episodes left. So there's we're on episode 13 coming up, episode 14, and I see that at 15 should be I think the last one of the season. So I think that's right, but I could be wrong. So all of this is good stuff. Oh, this just in. I heard I was watching some movie news there, and it looks like Tron 3 is still a go. They got a new writer to rewrite the script. They still have on contract the director from the last film, although he's busy right now doing other works. And we know Disney right now is all about their franchises that they own, their sci-fi franchises. They're all about putting out tons of Star Wars films, and why not tons of Tron, right? They're doing a fantastic job on this TV show. If they wanted to, the third movie could star most of the voice actors who are playing these characters. They're all stars. This is a stellar cast. So if they really wanted to, they could even do that. I wouldn't mind, except for Elijah Wood's a little small to be back, but whatever, man. With the suit on, you wouldn't even know. So I mean, like I said, it would be good. And they could literally put everybody from the show onto the next movie if they wanted to. So that's all great stuff, and things to look forward to as far as Tron's concerned. Now again, I don't know if the show's going to have another season. I don't know, with what they're doing with the movie, what's going to go on with that. But I am excited to hear it anyway. So this is Alert Wolf telling you to click it up if you like it, comment if you must, subscribe if you can. And this is me signing out.